In today's episode, I'm going to be discussing the costs involved in buying a home. So stay tuned and enjoy. Hey, welcome to another episode of Real Estate and Coffee with me, Miguel Vidal, with the Home Guys team at Solid Rock Realty. All right, today's episode, let's chat a little bit about the cost. What are some of the costs involved when buying a home? So let's start from scratch. You start your search, you're looking, you go to the bank, you get your approval, you meet with your realtor, you start your search, you find a home, you submit an offer. How much is this all costing? Well, essentially up until that point, you haven't spent any money other than on gas and your emotional time if you end up finding homes and you end up not getting them. But other than that, to that point, you haven't lost any money. Submit your offer, it gets accepted. Well, first, when you're submitting your offer, you need to put some form of a deposit down as a sign of good faith when purchasing the home, as we do with most agreement of purchase and sales here in Ontario. So usually the deposit is about 1% of the asking price. So if someone's asking $500,000, you're going to put a $5,000 deposit, give or take. Some people do put more, but that depends on your comfort level. So that's your initial. So right off the hop, you get your offer accepted, you put a $5,000 deposit, and that deposit is given to the listing brokerage, and they hold that in trust until closing, okay? Then the next thing after that is if you have any inspections. So if you have a home inspection, that's gonna run you anywhere between $400 to $700. If you have a septic inspection, that's going to run you probably about $1,000. If you have to do a well inspection, that's again another $400 to $600. So septic and well, you don't have to worry too much if you're in city. Those are more like outskirts, like out of city kind of, ones that are not on city water and things like that. So those you don't have to worry about too much unless you're traveling out that way. Then those are costs you have to take into effect. Once you're done, those are the initial cost right off the hop. You don't have to worry about anything again until closer to closing date. At that point, when you get to closing date, the lawyer's going to end up, or their assistant will call you and tell you you need to bring a certified check in for X number of dollars. Now, X number of dollars is going to include whatever the down payment is that you're putting on the property minus the deposit that you put down on the home. And then it's also going to include your lawyer fees, disbursement costs that the lawyer will charge you, your land transfer tax. So land transfer, disbursement, lawyer fees, and all the other expenses involved, they usually say bank about 1.5% of the purchase price for closing. So if your home is $500,000, or let's just say your home is $500,000, then they're going to ask you to bank about $7,000 to $8,000 in closing costs is what you're going to need, give or take. So in a nutshell, that's how much really you're going to end up spending. Now the $8,000 between that 1.5%, that does not include the deposit that you're putting down, or the down payment you're putting down on the mortgage. So that is totally separate from that. These are just the costs involved in the lawyer fees, the land transfer tax, and the disbursement costs and things like that. Sorry, hope that all made sense. I think that's pretty much it. Then you end up closing on your home, and then you've got your normal expenses when you own a home, right? You have to transfer your utilities over to your name, and now you got to pay your heat, hydro, so on and so forth, unless you have a condo, at which point in some condos, some of the utilities are included. But otherwise, all that stuff has to get transferred, and then you basically have your mortgage payments coming out, however you have them coming out, once every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever floats your boat. So those are the costs involved when purchasing a home. So you don't really have to worry too much until you actually get an accepted offer. At that point is when you have to start funneling out money, but it's not all the time. It's just depending on what conditions you have in the agreement and depending on how much you put down as a deposit in the agreement. So, and then after that, you don't have to worry until closing. Hopefully this is, kind of brought to light a little bit of info that you may have not known prior. And again, don't forget to stay tuned for more episodes of Real Estate and Coffee with me.